Let's do it, Terry.
Let's go.
Segment 4.
Lead gen, our
Lead gen.
favorite topic.
Not demand gen, but lead gen.
Not demand gen.
Bottom of funnel,
Bottom
demand
of funnel,
capture.
I think everyone is talking about demand gen, but actually lead gen is still crucial and still what's getting most of the leads in the pipeline. So it's an important topic to cover.
So demand gen versus lead gen versus gen AI.
Too many gens.
Still a lot of generation happening and generative stuff.
Yeah. Okay. On the topic of lead gen, what's coming up in Google Ads? What are the latest developments? Where is the industry going?
Well, we're in 2024 now, and this is the year of third-party cookie deprecation. After Google has kicked the can down the street for years on this issue, the end of this year for sure, all third-party cookies in Chrome will be deprecated. And I do think a lot of marketers haven't fully prepared for what that means and what that's going to do to their return on ad spend within Google Ads. And I think that's the backdrop of everything happening within the Google Ads platform right now. So given that, I do think that the big changes to Google itself are they're trying to move more towards automation and AI. And now that AI is such a big buzz, this is giving Google a little bit of momentum behind its own AI features that have been there for years. So you have new campaign types that are emerging and becoming more popular, and Google is urging more people to use them. Two of these come to mind. Number one is Performance Max. Performance Max is a campaign type that allows you to feed lots of different types of assets to Google without selecting keywords or doing any of the traditional paid search stuff. And Google will run and build a journey across all of its properties using those assets to try to meet your marketing goals. So essentially what you're doing with Performance Max is giving Google creative assets and a goal, and then stepping back and letting Google figure it out how to meet your goal. And we've seen great results with Performance Max, and it's driven mostly by AI.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got a newer campaign type called Demand Gen Ads, and this is utilizing YouTube Shorts and the Google Discover feed. These are really fast emerging. This is actually probably the fastest growing inventory in Google Ads. YouTube Shorts, probably because of TikTok, is very, very popular now. There's a huge consumption of YouTube Shorts. And the Google Discover feed, which I believe was, in the end, Google's real answer to Facebook and the social media after the failure of previous efforts at this. But the Google Discover feed is also really, really popular. And lead gen, what they're calling demand gen ads is utilizing primarily those inventory types. So there you are also feeding creative assets in the form of vertical short videos and also images. The specific format for demand gen ads is almost like a news snippet with an image and a headline and a sub-headline. But it's a little bit different than a display ad or a search ad. So Google is also kind of preparing for a post-third-party cookie world where the privacy constraints are going to limit their ability to for advertisers to track like they used to, and they're trying to say let's pull back and look at the entire journey of a user, and you give us your creative assets, you give us the goal, and let us basically build the campaigns to try to reach that goal.
Okay, let's unwrap first the first part of the equation, which is the demise of third-party cookies. What should be companies doing with their first-party data? How can they be utilizing it in Google Ads? And what is the impact of using it?
I think that first-party data is the answer to overcoming the deprecation of third-party cookies. Because when third-party cookies go away, all of the data, that signal is going to be lost. And that's a massive signal because the third-party cookie tracks users as they go all over the web in Chrome and allows advertisers to specifically target them and to remarket to them based on the behavior. If that's gone, that massive loss of data needs to be supplemented with first-party data. And that's data coming from tools like your CRM, maybe your marketing automation platform, your email marketing list, and it could be other things. Mostly we think about first-party data as originating from the CRM because we work a lot with B2B lead gen based clients. And what that means in practice is that if you give your first-party data to Google, then Google can optimize towards that for using that first-party data. And I'll give you a specific example. If you're using HubSpot CRM and you have leads that come in at a stage that, let's call that stage sales qualified lead, SQL, and that gets assigned to a salesperson, and the salesperson has a discovery call, it goes well, they move it to an opportunity stage, and then there's positive movement, and then after the opportunity stage, you have an offer that is sent. So maybe that's another stage called negotiation. And then later that deal gets won. And maybe that takes, let's say that takes 8 weeks from SQL to deal one. At every stage in that sales journey, the salesperson is updating the deal value, the revenue, either the annual contract value or the deal value itself, and they're assigning a probability to winning the deal. So what you have at every stage is you have an aggregation of all probability weighted sales pipeline. If you allow Google to access your sales pipeline, and if that data is accurate, and you send that data through a very easy process, you send that data back to Google Ads, and you use value-based bidding, which means you tell Google, maximize the value of my sales pipeline. Don't just focus on generating a certain number of leads. Then that can transform your entire approach to Google Ads. And then what that's doing effectively is it's kind of dissolving that firewall between marketing and sales, where marketing focuses on generating leads and sales focuses on closing the leads and turning lead volume into revenue. But rather, marketing's goal now is revenue maximization. So now marketing and sales are sharing the same goal. And that is unlocked by value-based bidding using first-party data from the CRM to give it to Google Ads and let Google Ads optimize using your first-party data.
Yeah, I guess it's safe to conclude that the future of Google Ads and the experts working in Google Ads would be actually outside of the platform, not so much in optimizations within the platform, because that will be done by AI.
Yes,
It's what and how you're optimizing your CRM and whether you're sending the right signals that would really make the difference with Google Ads and
right.
the strategy in 2024.
That, Terry, is a very important point because if you think of the skill set of a Google Ads expert, paid search specialist, yesterday it was all about your expertise in working inside of the platform. Now that still matters, but I think that today and tomorrow's PPC ninja is going to be the person who is great at bringing in data, first party data and other signals from outside of the platform into the platform. So it's about building the pipelines into Google Ads, not optimizing inside of Google Ads. So the focus is really outside of the platform, as you mentioned.
Yeah, for sure. The second piece of the puzzle obviously is the creative, as you mentioned, with third cookies, third party cookies going away.
Mhm.
The focus will be obviously on capturing the attention, also with the creative being used within the ads. Can you share a bit about how we are using AI to actually optimize what we're doing in terms of creatives, messaging, ad copy, even design for the new types of campaigns that we're using?
Well, we can break this down by ad format. The first and most common is your text ad for paid search, which consists of a headline and then two description lines or a certain description um, area with character limitations. Now, AI is phenomenal at this because it can really help you brainstorm different combinations or really just brainstorm lists of headlines and subheadlines. And if we go back to an earlier conversation about the persona matrix, if we have the different pain points and we can map those pain points to each of those micro personas, the next step is to produce a list of headlines and descriptions that we can feed into Google's responsive search ad algorithm. The RSA, responsive search ads, is basically an AI tool that mixes and matches all possible combinations of headline and description to arrive at the complete ad units that are going to deliver the best conversions. And this is probably where we've seen the biggest impact and the strongest use case of AI, which is really enriching our responsive search ad building process.
Hmm.
Other types of creatives, you got images and videos, and this is more of the emerging space. But if you're doing, let's say, you're doing these demand gen ads where the primary focus is YouTube Shorts and the Google Discover feed, then you need images and video. Also, AI like DALL-E, Midjourney, Sora, which is coming soon from ChatGPT. These are great starting points for idea generation. And I do think if you want to scale that out, I do think that you can actually now, without real advanced design and video skills, I think you can create image and video creative that can be effective in these campaigns in Performance Max and in demand gen within Google Ads.
I wonder if at some point we might be able to use even technologies like HeyGen, which we also spoke about with customization, whether that will be also available on mass scale. Imagine just being able to pick up someone's name and then similar to how we customize emails
Mhm.
nowadays, to just have a completely customized ad with someone's avatar talking straight to the camera and straight to the person.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
Just imagine if you have, if you're marketing something across the United States and it's relevant to all 50 states, but you want to shoot a video that personalizes the script, let's say to each particular state. With a tool like HeyGen now, you can do that at
Mm.
scale. And that would otherwise take massive, massive effort to shoot like 50 different videos and with personalized scripts.
Is there anything else that we should be covering in terms of lead gen? Any questions that I'm missing or something that you would want to talk about?
Well, I like to think about what lead generation, and I associate lead generation with demand capture. So we're talking about bottom of the funnel here. I like to think about what a future of lead gen might look like when a large amount of people are going to be going to generative AI interfaces like ChatGPT and Gemini. And they're going to be expressing their intent through prompts and through conversations in a similar way to how they do it today in Google. What is that going to look like? Are these platforms also going to try to capture that intent and monetize it?
Mhm.
Or is lead generation going to be relevant for that? That's very interesting to see. Could we possibly be paying for a citation in a chat answer in the future? Because then we're not necessarily writing ads that are going to be limited to specific characters, but rather trying to position our content. And will it still be an auction? I kind of doubt it because there won't really be keywords to bid on in those auctions. So to me, it's fascinating to think about what lead generation is going to look like when the chat experience is a big part of how people are getting their answers from the internet.
Speaking of chats, I know it's not related to lead gen, but I think we can cover it here. What do you think is the future of chatbots on the website?
I think chatbots are going to undergo a massive transformation. Most chatbots on websites today are very dumb because they're trained on really a conversation tree logic and they have very strict guardrails. And their goal ultimately is to try to answer questions within rigid formulas. And if it doesn't work, you then refer to a customer support or to a human agent. I think now the smarter chatbots are going to look like ChatGPT inside of your own website. And they'll be trained on your data. And they'll be actually not only able to answer support questions, but they'll be able to sell.
Mm.
They'll be able to describe and even brainstorm strategy with you. And that whole experience might turn out to be better than a typical browsing experience on a website. Because today, the most B2B websites are monologues. We can think of them as a one-way conversation. You come to a website, you're supposed to be impressed by the homepage and what you read there, and then you start navigating around the menu and you go deeper into the areas that you're interested in. But as you formulate questions, you search for those answers by navigating that website in a kind of a one-way monologue experience. What if instead you came to a B2B website and you immediately started interacting with a chatbot that was as entertaining as ChatGPT, not only entertaining, but as useful and
Mm.
informative as ChatGPT, then you could go straight to your specific questions. You wouldn't necessarily need to navigate and hunt for your answers. The whole web user interface and design and the beauty of that might matter a whole lot less if you just have a great chat experience
Yeah.
that people have already been trained on with ChatGPT. And I do think that could really be the future of websites,
Mm.
especially B2B websites, is they just have chatbots that are dialogues instead of monologues that are trained to engage with you into a real great conversation, give you a very personalized answer, and then move you to the next step, which might be talking to sales, or it
Yeah.
might even be something else. It might even be getting ready to do a purchase.
To me, that actually closes the whole circle because that information alone is first party data as well. Like you can collect what people are asking you on your website and what people are interested in, and then use that first party data to actually also enhance your lead generation activities and actually know what kind of ads actually will resonate with people.
So it becomes a closed loop actually,
Exactly.
because the the types of questions, whatever the user is feeding into the chatbot, can further educate the chatbot and make it better, and then also educate marketers
Yeah.
that, oh, this is actually what people want to know about my brand, my service.
Yeah.
Maybe not what I've written in all these service pages.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
yeah, it's the next best thing to actually not only talking to your customers, but talking to all of your prospects.
And mapping that again to the matrix that we were discussing earlier, you have all the micro personas, and then you actually have proof within your own website whether what these people are interested in actually matches what you thought that you should be communicating
Exactly.
with your ad copy and messages.
Constant self-reinforcing
Yeah.
feedback loop here.
I think that wraps it up, honestly, on the lead gen topic. I think it's
Great.
straight to the point, but also dynamic because it changes a lot. But essentially, as long as you know your users and you know what they care about, you have more effective results.
Yep.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you.